Hey everyone, welcome back to the Soundbite. My name is Andrew, and today we're going to be jumping into some Arch Enemy here for the first time, checking out their latest track along with their brand new singer, Lauren Hart, who just got recently announced as the brand new singer to replace Alyssa Whitegloss, which was huge news in the metal world. You know, everyone had been kind of waiting to see who was going to be the new singer of Arch Enemy. I've been a big fan of Arch Enemy since the beginning almost, really. I mean, when I got into melodic death metal way back in the 90s, they were still with, this is before Angela. I got into them when they had the male singer, I guess. I don't even remember his name now. It was such a long time ago. And then obviously Angela sort of took over, and that's when Arch Enemy became Arch Enemy, you know. So, and then Alyssa sort of took over, and then now Lauren Hart, who was in a band called Once Human, which I remember very well, quite a few years back now. And in fact, we actually did an interview together when she was in the band and when she was on tour as well. And so I kind of remember her from that. And she was, you know, nice enough and everything like that. And she was obviously a great singer for the band. But it was still a nice surprise to see that she was the named as the singer for Arch Enemy. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this all plays out. I'm looking forward to hearing this track, To The Last Breath, which I'm guessing it will be off a somewhat new album that's coming out at some point. I don't know, they just released an album last year, I think. So might be a little too soon for a new album, I don't know. But it's very keen to check this out, see what this is all going to sound like. I'm sure there's going to be quite a bit of discussion as to whether she will match up with the previous singers, but that's always going to happen with singers, right? You know, it's a very big position to fill, especially with a band like Arch Enemy, where the singer's always been kind of like one of the prominent sort of figures in the band, you know. So despite the fact that Michael Lamont is really kind of the visionary behind the band, you know. So but anyway, let's check this out. Arch Enemy, To The Last Breath, featuring Lauren Hart. I mean, it sounds like Arch Enemy. What you want. Okay, just getting into it right now. We'll get into the first part of that song there. So obviously it does sound like Arch Enemy. It always does and always will, I guess. You know, Michael Lamont does have a certain style, you know, with that melodic death metal style that he kind of really almost single-handedly invented back in the day, because he was with Carcass. And they were kind of instrumental in the whole melodic death metal scene. And really, like, they started that sound, you know, way back in the 90s. So no matter what he does, he's always got to have that sound in there, you know, so that'll never be lost. But I guess everyone will be focusing on the singer, and she has this the vocal style that's always been there for Arch Enemy. Now, I have heard criticism of Arch Enemy over the last, you know, 10 years or so, and whether they've been as good. I kind of feel like maybe they have changed a little bit more, and it's a little bit more streamlined with their sound, I guess. But and that's maybe where the criticism is coming from. I'm not really sure what exactly is going on there. All I know is that I enjoy the music, and that's really all that matters. So this sounds like Arch Enemy. Lauren sounds fantastic here, and fits in really, really well here. So I don't know, if you've been liking what they've been doing over the last 10 years or so, then I can't see any reason why you would not like this track. Because like I said, you know, the sound is there. It's always, it sounds like Arch Enemy. So fantastic. I do love the sort of the dynamics between the sort of fast, sort of frenetic sort of pace, and then the sort of melodic passages that they sort of throw in there. That is obviously a typical melodic death metal trait, but an Arch Enemy do it very, very well. Hence why they're, I guess nowadays, one of the biggest bands in the melodic death metal genre. So which is understandable, but it's fantastic so far. I'm looking forward to seeing what else the track offers. Now, I did read that Angela Gosso, who was obviously one of the original singers of Arch Enemy, now the manager of the band, has been for a long time now. She actually had a hand in picking out Lauren Hart. So obviously she knew her from previous stuff as well, and I guess that was instrumental in getting her into the band. And just going through the track a bit more now, and I kind of feel like, even though people take a little bit time to, you know, get used to having a new singer in Arch Enemy, I kind of feel like people will get used to this really, really quickly. Because like I said, she fits in quite well here, and it's sort of a seamless transition, really. Like, she's definitely got a lot of that sort of thing that Arch Enemy have for this particular style of music, and she fits in with that kind of style of singing as well, you know. So she's got that. I remember in her stuff that she did in Once Human, and her vocal style was kind of like that as well. I think that was a little bit more sort of growlier, I guess. So if I remember, I mean, it was a while ago now since I've heard it, but yeah, she fits in really well here, and the track is, like I said, you know, like just signature Arch Enemy. So I think this will work out pretty well. I guess the main thing here at some point will be to see them live and see how that works. So because that's really kind of like the sort of key ingredient, I guess, is to make it work live, because that's what people want to go see, you know. So that will be the interesting sort of thing, and I can't wait to see them live at some point when they come on tour again. So yeah, but fantastic so far. Like, it's just Arch Enemy in a nutshell, really. Just for those who don't not quite familiar with Lauren as well, she's actually from Australia as well. Sort of keeps in line with like the sort of mix of different countries that Arch Enemy have. You know, like Sweden and you know, Canada. I guess Alyssa was from Canada, and yeah, here we got Australia now. You know, so it's just it's an interesting sort of mix of different sort of like, you know, parts of the world and stuff. So keeping in line with that, I guess. So kind of reaching down under for this one for Arch Enemy. I think this will work out well. I don't know. It's early to say. You know, hard to say really like where it's all going to go, but. I feel like the fans will definitely embrace her, but I don't know. There's been, like I said before, there was some, I guess, some issues with like, you know, with Alyssa. I guess that some fans just didn't quite warm up to. I guess I never really quite understood it to be perfectly honest. I guess the comparisons, you know, to Angela were always going to be there, but I think it's a little unfair to kind of put that onto the new singer, you know, because it's not the same person. And nor should it be, but at the same time, you know, you've got to kind of make that transition and kind of go with the flow and stuff, you know. So, but I don't know. I think it's fantastic so far. I think. Seems to be a lot of like doubling up with the vocals and stuff, and with the melodic and the growls. There we go. There's Arch Enemy, To the Last Breath. The brand new track featuring the new singer, Lauren Hart. Like I said, thumbs up for me. Fantastic song. Yeah, I think Lauren will fit in quite well. I guess, like I said before, it'll all depend on how it works out live, and whether she will, you know, give that same sort of like high energy performance live. I found Alyssa was a great singer live as well. She put on a powerful performance. So I never had any issues with that. And obviously Angela back in the day was just brilliant, you know, and I can definitely see why everyone sort of loved her as well, you know. And live is definitely where it's at. And I've seen Arch Enemy a few times live now. And just, yeah, fantastic, great band live. So that'll be the key, and I guess we'll see them on tour, and I guess we'll make that judgment on how Lauren does. But well done, congratulations to Lauren for getting the spot. It's a big deal, and hopefully it'll continue on for many years. So let me know in the comments what you think of all this, what you think is the deal with, like, you know, Arch Enemy and the different singers they've had over the years, and do you have a personal preference at all? You know, a lot of people, like I said, I've always gone with Angela, but I thought Alyssa did a fantastic job, and Lauren sounded really promising here as well, you know. So, but let me know what you think, and whether you think this will work out, and I guess we'll see. But anyway, thanks for tuning in as always. Please subscribe if you haven't, and thank you to all those who have subscribed. Any other Arch Enemy stuff you want me to check out, let me know. Just drop it in the comments, and I will definitely add it to the mix. There you go. So anyway, I'll see you next time.